Jet fuel can't melt steel bars, but my hot takes definitely will. Aliena here with a hot take on Nero, the latest Nikke that will be released pretty soon. And let's just jump right into it. So let's look at her skills. Keep in mind, Nero is a defender burst to fire code submachine gun with 20-second burst. Her first skill is Cat's Repayment. It activates whenever a recovery takes effect, so whenever a healing happens. The healer receives a 14% damage reduction for 5 seconds, and Nero herself receives a 8.43% stackable 5 times 5-second damage reduction buff as well. So this is a synergy between the healer healing Nero and Nero herself getting healed. And it's stacking up to 5 times means that if you can manage to keep it stacked up, it will go all the way to 42% damage reduction and probably can be kept up permanently. As there is no cooldown being mentioned here, I would assume that it means you can activate it every tick of healing that she receives. Her skill 2, Little Paw, has 2 RNG components to it. A 30% chance when getting attacked to give a damage amplification of 8% for 5 seconds, and a 30% chance when in Grumpy Cat status, which is during her burst, of dealing 158% of final attack as damage. The damage amplification is a nice little bonus, but probably won't be extremely relevant as it's 30% chance of activating and lasts 5 seconds. While the other one is 158% of final attack is a bonus, but being a defender, she probably doesn't have very high attack. It will probably be a nothing burger as well. Her most relevant portion of her skill 2 will be the max HP buff that she gets when entering battle and is permanent. So she will be incredibly thick and durable thanks to this max HP buff that she gets on entering the battle. Her burst skill, Grumpy Cat, which is a 20-second burst, affects one enemy with the highest HP for 1104 final attack as damage, which is very negligible as being a defender, she probably doesn't have very high attack stat, and it's single target. The true value of her burst comes from the 15-second taunt to all enemies, and if you have maximum stacks of Cat's Repayment, which is her defense stackable buff from skill 1, she will gain 60% HP potency for 15 seconds. So, first hot take. Based on this alone, should you pull for Nero? Well, in my opinion, she is a very likely safe skip target, and maybe you can put her in the wish list later on if you want her. Especially if you're saving for things like any upcoming Pilgrims or the Nier collab that was announced during the half anniversary. If you want a longer answer though, let us dive deeper. If her outfit didn't make it clear enough, Nero is a girl with very specific fetishes, such as getting repeatedly slapped on her thick health bar, thanks to her 15-second taunt and 60% HP increase plus defense buffs. Now, she is built to take hits frequently, just like Emma, which comes with a very similar caveat when it comes to PvE. Just like you wouldn't want Mike Tyson to be the one hitting you at a BDSM party, you probably won't be using the hitting effect very often, and even the taunt can be iffy in PvE, as there are many very dangerous raptors and even bosses that will delete her faster than Crunchyroll did with Princess Connect. Now, in PvP, this trait does have potential, as we've seen with Emma's very fun and balanced healing whenever she is facing miniguns or any fast, quick, small hits in PvP. But we'll get back to her PvP potential later. On the other side of her kit, we can see that she has very thick assets, in the HP department, of course. With additional 60% HP at the start of the fight, she will be the ultimate HP sponge. Yorm the Giant be damned, her HP alone will make her quite difficult to kill. However, the real meat on her buns is the massive 42% defense buff that, when combined with the HP that she gains from her skill 2, and possibly even the 60% HP potency buff thanks to max stacking it at 42% defense, she will be very difficult to kill. Now, while defense buffs, just like Neiman's chess, kind of speak for themselves, HP potency, for those who do not know, is a direct healing buff. So whenever that is activated, all of the healing that she gets will be amplified by 60%. However, these are subject to caveats. Her defense buff comes in the form of a stackable buff that lasts 5 seconds, which means that you need someone to heal her constantly to stack them up and keep up that healing before it expires. Now, Horny Nun and Staircase are the first candidates when it comes to this. Horny Nun, whenever she attacks at full charge, she will heal the lowest HP targets. Nero, being built to soak up as much damage as possible, will probably be that target very frequently. The other one being Staircase, whenever she empties her last bullet, she will heal her as well. The problem being that to be able to maintain the pace of that 5-second window, you will have to full manual Staircase so that she doesn't start reloading to full and drop the stacks on the defense buff for Nero. Now, if you do not care for the HP potency buff, Summer Mary is a very likely synergy that she has. Due to the layered cake full burst healing that she has, it will only trigger after Nero already burst, which means that you will never be able to get the HP potency portion of it. But the layered cake, probably ticking multiple layers of healing, will stack that defense buff to max very, very quickly, allowing her to still dip into that 42% defense, which will make her incredibly difficult to kill. And Summer Mary also giving a very thick 20% max HP buff will make her even thicker. Actually, she will be so thick in terms of defense and HP that if you put volume right beside her, she'll probably look like Solin. Now, with so many caveats and restrictions that make her look like a masochist with a denial fetish, where could she shine in PvE? Well, the best scenario I can think of is baiting very heavy damage, like Mother Whale with the deadly wave of raptures that just come in, laser everything, and disappear. I dealt with it personally by using noise and increasing my entire team's max HP through her burst, but Nero is a 20-second burst that taunts everything for 15 seconds. So you could pair her with Pepper, Noise, Rapunzel, Summer Mary, and hopefully she'll be able to soak that dangerous mechanic and leave to tell the tale through either her massive HP pool and defense, or the HP amplifications from Summer Mary or Noise, which hopefully will be enough to make the entire composition less restrictive. That way you can bring a healer as a safety net, a burst one that either buffs or deals damage like best support in the entire Nikke, well, quote-unquote support, freaking Dorothy, and also not sacrifice too many slots in the process. Now, PvP is where I think her most common usage will be at. While the meta in my cluster is mostly very rapid bursts with rocket launchers, shotguns, and a very powerful finisher like Scarlet, or just being stalled into oblivion by something like healers plus Privity or things like that, she can probably fit into that stalling aspect of things, right? She is gimped by the fact that she's an SMG, so she doesn't generate burst very quickly, so your team will be naturally slower if you slot her in. But when paired with something like constant healing or max HP increases, like a Gasponsol or Best Idol in Nikke, you could probably soak a single target finisher like Alice, and or maybe even soak a lot of other single target damages. Now, the problem why I'm saying single target is because a very motivated alcoholic will just delete the rest of the team without any regard to her taunt. Now, her PvP performance will remain a question mark until actual testing is done. She's competing, after all, for Burst 2 slot, which is a very competitive slot, as an SMG user, which is, again, a very big handicap. Now, let me remind you again that that slot you could be running something like the Gremlin, which gives it 3-second immunity. You could be running Biscuit for cover recovery, or you could be running other options like Senti, all of which have pretty good burst generation. So your team will still be pretty quick while also having decent utility. Same for example, Poli. Now, her entire kit relying on her being a punching bag like Emma could allow her to shine against some comps that have, well, fast hitting things. Like, for example, someone is running some form of Rosanna or any other minigun, probably running Emma or running the Bunny Girls. Something that won't kill her too quickly and will hit her enough to proc will probably allow her to shine a little bit. And her kit almost seems at first glance when it comes to PvP built so that you put her with Emma. Emma will suck a lot of hits, heal her up through those ticks, and then once Emma is starting to get dangerously low, that's when the burst will come in. She will taunt everything towards her, and she will be almost impossible to kill. And then the cycle starts all over again. Now, for some potential synergies, the top of the list, in my opinion, are Rapunzel and Pepper, followed by, for getting the HP potency, well, Summer Mary, Noise, Emma for PvP-ish, will need testing. Helm could in theory work as she gives Leech. Hopefully that works because Leech being self-healing, that could be a little bit problematic. Who knows how that works when it comes to Nero. Then if you want to go really into Copium tier, you could go with regular Mary or Frema, since Frema gives max HP. And the ones that I personally wouldn't pair them, because why would you, would be Blanc, Quincy, Winter Anne, and Soda. I honestly don't see why you would pair them, but I mean, if you want to do it, up to you, right? And this about sums up my hot take when it comes to Nero, the upcoming Nikke. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, just so that I know if you enjoy this type of content, so that I can make more in the future. Thanks a lot for listening, and see you guys around. Do tell me if you pull for Nero, though. What were your results and why you were pulling? I'm quite interested as well. I will be pulling personally because waifu, right? But do tell me about it. See you guys next time.